Hello and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show weekly podcast with me, Sam. By the way, the autumn has hit the PWR and we're heading to 3 games this weekend. But in this episode, we'll be talking to Bristol Bears camp ahead of their Friday night lights, Friday night scare night at Shaftesbury Park when they take on Harlequins women. We'll be hearing from Dave Ward and Emma Orr from the Bears camp. We'll also be talking to the Exeter Chiefs camp ahead of them hosting Saracens women on Saturday. We'll be hearing from Susie Appleby and Maddie Feaunati, and also from the Saracens camp with Austerberry and Alysha Corrigan. Before we get into this episode, make sure you check us out across all social medias. Make sure you like this video on YouTube, and also if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget you can check us out on Spotify as well. Let's get into this one. It's going to be a belter. Hi Dave, I hope you're all well. Obviously, you mentioned kind of the trick or treat Fright Night special. Just how kind of important are these occasions and kind of the marketing from Bears bringing in the family crowd?
Yeah, massive, Sam. And I think from our perspective, we need to do more than just, put on an entertaining game of rugby. For me, that's enough. Definitely, I could watch any game of rugby, to be honest. But I think in terms of that, we don't just want to be the product at the end of the day. We want to be surrounded by people having fun, make it a real night out. And like I said, if we're asking people to spend their hard-earned money, it is payday, so it should be a good day to come down. Then I think from our perspective, we need to put that product on not just before and during the game, but before and after as well. And as I said, we want people to dress up. Hallie will be dressing up whether she likes it or not. So I think from a family perspective, we can't wait to, as I said, to be back at Shaftesbury Park and put on a real event.
What would your go-to dress up be if you were dressing up on Friday?
Well, the problem is now, Sam, Hallie's going as one of them, from Monsters Inc. I think it's the blue one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go as Mike Wazowski. So that's what people have been saying to me. Well, I say people, Abby. So yeah, I think it might be on the cards. We'll wait and see what the result looks like, and yeah, maybe I might roll it out.
Obviously, Quinn's on Friday. One of someone you know really well, potentially lining up at 10 for them in Kaylee Powell. Just what's it going to be like, kind of lining up against her at 10? Something you probably didn't see much at Bears.
No, I think Kaylee is a fantastic rugby player, and I think everyone's known that for a long time. Hence the move to sevens, then back to 15. She's got a lot of skills in her locker. I suppose the problem for Kaylee will be the fact that she knows our playbook inside out. But I've played against teams where I've done that, tried to do that before, and you often end up chasing your tail a little bit because you're trying to react to stuff and listen out for new calls or calls that and actually it becomes a little bit harder. I think from our perspective, we've got to respect her as a rugby player. Like, she's a great player. And we know if we give her a bit of space, she'll be through that gap. I think her kicking game has been outstanding. You watched that the last Welsh game that she played in. I thought her kicking was some of the best I've seen. So I think we've got to respect that part of it as well. It'll be fun to see her. Hopefully, as I said after the game, we'll be enjoying the win, but she's still putting a decent performance.
Obviously, their Red Roses came back and had an impact. Ellie scoring that try. Obviously, yours came back up at Sale, made a massive impact. I think they all went over apart from Abby. Scored.
Abby scored as well. Yeah.
Sorry.
Abby, Burner, and Lark, they all got tries.
Yeah. So just kind of how nice is it to see that impact kind of that they're making coming back into the PWR.
Yeah, look, it's great, and I think it's funny, isn't it? Because Abby came back in and Delaney was disappointed, and rightly so, because she's been fantastic. But we've actually looked at more of a rotation this year with the squad and trying to, like I said, with that shortened season, to get people minutes all the time. The Red Roses, they've come in, they've had a fantastic impact, as you would imagine, coming off the back of a good WXV. But we also don't want to just roll them out week on week and then all of a sudden, another squad player comes in who hasn't played for 8 or 9 weeks. So we've got to manage those players. They've got to manage themselves as well. And as I said, there's lots of good problems to have. And as a coach, for me, it's finding the best combinations for different games, because, you play against Sale, you play against Quinn's, very different opposition with very different motivations and very different challenges. So again, we always pick courses at Bears. And again, it'll be very different side this week to the one probably that went up to Sale.
And just how much are they kind of pushing those younger players? Obviously, you saw Izzy Jacques come off the bench and make massive impact up at Sale. Just how much is she learning off the likes of Hannah Bottoman and Sarah Byrne?
Well, yeah, Izzy's a tight head by trade, and I've just rolled her out at Alysha for last year. So I think we're just about friends again now. But I think because she's realised she's a fantastic rugby player. I saw her 2 years ago when she played for Wasps when she was 17. She was playing in the Premiership. So, and probably that was a little bit too early for her, but she's been going under the radar playing for Bristol University, and then every week she either gets a scrum against Sarah Byrne, Hannah Bottom, Simi Pam, or Eliane Clark. So I think as learning curves go for her, it's been steep, but it's been great. And as I said, both sides of the scrum, she's comfortable. She's obviously done a little bit of hooking as well for us. So in that respect, we've kind of sort of we don't realise how lucky we are. The progression she's made as quickly as it has, and she's still only young. She still qualifies for the 20s. So, and she's studying medicine at Bristol University, so she's got a lot on her plate. But it's something that she can absolutely cope with. And like you say, I thought her performance against Taisha Harper was one of the best young prop performances I've seen in a long time. And I don't say that lightly because I know how good a player Taisha is. So, yeah, for her to come on and do that, that's why she was, awarded our player of the match, and rightly so.
Obviously, Amber kind of came off at half time. Just how is she, and kind of how impressed were you with the way Jenna stepped up into the 10 shirt as well?
Yeah, I think that was always the plan. Like we want to look after Amber. We want to make sure she's nice and fresh for Friday. Amber was like, I want to play on. I want to carry on like all players. And we were like, Amber, you don't need to. And actually, it was a really good opportunity for Jenna. And you saw it then. I mean, Jenna's comfortable in 10, 12 or 13 shirt. She packs a punch wherever she's going to play. And the no-look pass for Meg as well, the little Welsh connection, they celebrated quite hard, which was quite nice on that. Look, she's got a little bit to learn as well with Jenna. We talk about her calling strategy and playing at 10, but it's really nice to have those young players, those Bristol University players coming through, so we can, and you got to remember Amber's Jenna's coach as well at Bristol University, so there's lots of links throughout. But we're seeing the sort of the fruits of their labour, because Jenna's going nice and quickly, Izzy's going nice and quickly. Natalie Evans is another one that we'll be talking about in a year's time. I don't doubt it for 1 minute. Of their progression. So yeah, our system in place is great at the moment, and as I said, we're really getting the fruits of all the labour that myself, Amber, Ellie Marsden, my home down in North Bristol are putting in.
Hi Emma, I hope you're all good. Just you kind of touched on how important the PWR could be for you in your development this season, but just how important is it to kind of have the likes of you and kind of so much of the Scotland squad playing within the league heading into the World Cup?
Oh, it's absolutely huge. There's so many of the Scotland team play down here now, and I think we're so lucky to have such an incredible league on our doorstep. So to be able to, like I said earlier, play this level of rugby week in, week out is massive for our personal development. And then when we come in as a squad for Six Nations and looking forward to that World Cup, I think we learn so much with our clubs that then when we come into our international season, hopefully we can just kick on and take what we've learned into a Scotland shirt.
And just how much of kind of the current Scottish players at Bears kind of help you settle into the environment quick?
Oh, they have been incredible. They literally have held my hand this last week or so. I think I couldn't have done it without them. They've really, really helped me settle in, and definitely I'm a home bird, so moving from Scotland down to here has been quite challenging, but they've literally been my second family and showed me the ropes. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for them.
And obviously so much international talent within that Bears side, like of Holly Aitchison, Amber Reid, Phoebe Murray, Jazz Joyce. Just how kind of exciting is it to be playing alongside these people and training alongside them every day?
Yeah, no, it's incredible to play alongside that caliber of players. They're just incredible, and I feel like I've learned so much already. And I think just training alongside them, their skill level is only going to push me to try and get to that level as well. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to hopefully get a season with them and learn lots and lots, I'm sure.
And obviously coming up against Jade Conkle on Friday, potentially someone you know quite well from Scotland. Just what's like playing with and against someone of such quality like Jade?
Yeah, it'll be a funny one actually, because it's never been a situation I've been in before, is playing against teammates in the PWR. So it would be, I'm sure there'd be some friendly rivalry. But it's lovely to see a familiar face there, and I can't wait to see her and catch up with her as well.
And obviously it's Fright Night, is billed by Bristol on Friday. Just kind of how important are these occasions to kind of build a new following and build a new crowd coming into the women's game?
Yeah, massive. I think it's so exciting to have a Friday night game. I think it just brings in that extra crowd, and really looking forward to getting out there and hopefully putting on a performance to give our fans something to cheer about and something to support us. And yeah, we're just really grateful for the following and looking forward to hopefully trying to grow it more this season.
What would your Halloween dress up be if you had to pick one for Friday?
That is a great question. I think because I'm a farmer, I'm gonna have to say a scarecrow or something like that. I'd probably just borrow a lot of my dad's clothes. I'm sure that would do the job.
Perfect. Cheers, Emma. Thank you. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Just first of all, how much are you enjoying back being in the PWR?
Yeah, no, I've been really enjoying it. It's honestly like I never left. The league in the last 2 years have just got so much more competitive. So, no, it's been really fun.
Is the Saracens environment the same when you came back into? Do you feel like you just fit straight back in?
Yeah, there's been lots of new faces between staff and players, but it definitely still has like the same feel. There's been a lot of changes kind of behind the scenes within the program, but no, it's been so nice to be back, and yeah, no, it's been good.
Obviously, kind of a tough block of fixtures ending this weekend with Chiefs. Got 2 wins from 2 so far. Just how happy are you with that? But how much do you want to push on into this weekend as well?
Yeah, I think that we are happy with those 2 performances. We've had lots of internationals come back in, so we're just trying to figure out new combos. And it's kind of the same with all the teams the last couple of weeks. Everybody has people coming back in, and it's really whatever team can kind of catch up the fastest and get on the same page. And I think that there was moments that we seen that in the Gloucester game, and there was moments that we kind of dipped, but it's a new week and lots of things to fix and lots of positives from last week to take into this week against Exeter.
Just how enjoyable was that Gloucester game? Obviously, high scoring, kind of a great advert for the league. Maybe not defensively, but just how enjoyable was it to be playing in and kind of showing off women's rugby like that?
Yeah, I think if you ask both defensive coaches from both teams, they're probably not overly thrilled with the amount of points that were scored. But being able to put that many points on the board and being down at half and being able to come out and show up in the second half is huge for us, and that builds confidence within the group. We knew that it was going to be a tough game. We knew that there was going to be lots of tries scored. So it was just how much that could be together and finish out a game.
And obviously, quite a few Canadians from 15s and 7s kind of come back over or into the league this year. Just how important is it for Canadian rugby heading into the World Cup next year that you're getting this regular game time in what is possibly the strongest league for women's rugby?
Yeah, I think it's massive, not only just for Canadians, but there's lots of Americans. We have so many internationals from all different countries in this league, and it's only going to make the league stronger. But yeah, for Canadians, it's huge for us to be able to play as much rugby as we can, as we don't have a league in Canada that gives us that rugby every weekend. So yeah, looking forward to a busy year of rugby ahead, and then World Cup prep will be exciting and fun. But yeah, no, it's huge for all Canadians just to play as much rugby as we can.
And just finally for me, kind of what do you expect from Exeter this week? And obviously quite a few Americans in that side, so a team you'll know quite well relatively. So just what do you expect from them?
Yeah, Exeter's always a tough game for us, especially away. At home, it's a big travel, long travel. They're physical. They have, like you said, they have loads of Americans and Canadians, so it'll be fun to play against the fellow Canadians. But no, they're a well-drilled side. They stick to their system. They have lots of individual players that are going to make huge impacts and are able to change a game. So it will be a fun matchup for sure.
Kick off, just kind of what your reflections, kind of 48 hours on from the weekend against Gloucester.
Yeah, really proud of the character and the toughness of the team. We put ourselves in some bad positions. Don't get me wrong, that's all credit to Gloucester. They came out of the traps and really took it to us, and we were struggling to deal with that, but found a way back in the game. And then Gloucester came on strong again and took a real good lead going into half time, which could have been pretty final in all honesty, in terms of those 3 scores, and then turn it into was it 12-point deficit at half time. That's tough, particularly the nature of them. It was bang scores that close to half time, real momentum shift, but some real clarity at half time. And then start of the second half, we did all right, but we just didn't get a score. Again, Gloucester defended well. We made a couple of errors, but ultimately we were stopped by some good defence, and then found a way back in. Then almost the momentum shifted again, and finally, probably that last 10 minutes, we actually established and controlled momentum, which then gave us the ability to get the score. So yeah, looking back at it, there's always, as coaches, you're always going to be frustrated with elements. Always bits to think, oh, why did we do that? Credit to the team for forcing into positions that you don't want to be in and doing things that you don't want to do. But ultimately, like really, really happy with finding a way of, turning what at one point was a 5-1, points to them and 1 to us kind of deficit into a complete swing around. So yeah, really, really proud of the group. That was probably the overriding emotion and feeling.
Obviously, kind of you mentioning he's always going to be things to pick up, perhaps defensively from this one, but just how nice is it for the league to see such an entertaining game of rugby between arguably 2 of the top teams within it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to take your coaching hat off. I don't want games to be overly entertaining. I want them to not be sitting, on the edge of my seat with 30 seconds to go. But the people I spoke to in the crowd after it, the messages that you get and the conversations with the rugby world and the wider rugby world, the people who only just been introduced to the women's game, they were really complimentary of it and excited by it, and it's a brilliant spectacle. And when I'm sat there as a fan one day, then I probably really will enjoy those types of games. But I think as a whole, if you look at the weekend, the Loughborough Harlequins game was tight. That was down to last play, even though if they looked like they did have 2 last plays in that game, and then the Ealing Exeter, that was in the balance. It was just that final kind of passage of play that took that away from being a 1-score game either way. So it's great that the league's competitive, because if we want to attract an audience and we want to grow the game, it's got to be exciting. It's got to be, you turn up to a game and you have no idea what's going to happen. And the fact that it was a good quality attacking rugby makes it that bit more exciting. I mean, we seem to have 2 games against Gloucester. It's either a real humdinger, end-to-end excitement, attacking this and lots of free-flowing play, or we've had a couple of games that have been equally tight, but not necessarily as exciting for the audience or the viewer, where it's been a little bit more what's the word? No, I don't want to say turgid, but one of the games was pretty turgid, to be fair.
And obviously, this last one for me, Chiefs this weekend, the team you've kind of got, not history, but a lot of big clashes over the years with some entertaining games. Just kind of how excited are you for the weekend, kind of ending this block of 3 massive fixtures?
It's a block of 5 massive fixtures for us. It's been a really challenging period, and there's no better way to find out exactly where you're at, having played, champions last week, Bristol, runners up the week before, and going away to Exeter, where we've had some real tough days and some chastening days. So it's a really kind of a good marker for exactly where we're at. We're in a fairly good place, but we've got to back that up. And that's, if we want to be the team that we've got the potential to be, then we have to go down there and we have to fight fire with fire, put a performance on, and ultimately find a way of winning. So yeah, it's really exciting, and I'm really pleased it's coming at the back of this block, so we can go, right, actually, how tough can we be on the back of some really difficult fixtures.
Hi, Maddie, you kind of just touched on the condensed season then a little bit. Just how difficult does that make it for a player to kind of know where you're going to not really know when your rest is going to be, and kind of knowing you've been playing kind of week on week for so long?
I think it's gonna help everyone for, I guess, the World Cup, because you have to just learn to show up week in, week out. And like, it doesn't matter if you're getting rested, or, if you've played multiple games. Like, I think the importance of this season is everyone's going to learn how to mentally show up and physically prepare their body week by week, whether you're playing or not. So that's something that I'm excited to be challenged on, is, again, with the condensed season, no real break in between like we usually do. Just like, showing up each week and showing up mentally and physically for your team.
Is that where the momentum from a strong WXV campaign comes into it, kind of taking that into the Chiefs and pushing what the experiences you've had in Canada onto the rest of the team?
I guess I'm more of a person that leads with my actions, with the, like, I guess where I am right now. I don't really lead with words, or like, I don't say much. You won't find me saying much, but yeah, I just like to lead with standards and what I can do to help the team. And then people like asking questions and stuff, I'm always happy to answer, but I still learn a lot daily. And I feel really grounded with the team, and really like I don't think anyone is better than anyone else here. I just think I learn something new from everyone every day, which is really nice.
And you said you're kind of not focusing too much on Saracens this week, but where do you kind of see their biggest threats in the game? Obviously, May Campbell's the league's top try scorer from 7, somebody who you may be coming up against. Just where do you see their threats at the moment?
Yeah, May Campbell has been really on form. I know they've got some speed in their backs, and Zoe's kicking game is obviously a game winner for them. So yeah, I think we know what's coming, like as well as much as we're trying to focus on ourselves, we're very prepared for the challenge ahead. So yeah.
And just finally from me, obviously you mentioned the World Cup in a year's time. The pool draw must have been a little bit exciting for you when you saw Samoa getting pulled out of the hat.
Yeah, I just knew we were going to get them. I don't know why. I was like, I bet you're going to get Samoa. And we did. So, yeah, that's cool and exciting. And I know a few girls in that team. So I'm really excited for them for making the World Cup and hopefully cool again being a part of it or not to see them over here next year and getting to perform on the stage it's going to be.
Who would your dad be supporting?
Definitely the Roses. But yeah, I think he thinks it's quite cool. Again, he coached most of the girls that are playing in that team as well. So always going to have a soft spot for them, I think.